And we'd like to welcome those who are just joining us, and thanks to those who are continuing the Florida DEP webinar series hosted by the Office of Sustainable Initiatives. Some of you attended, a number of you attended the prior program on Florida Clean Marina, and this session will be on Florida Clean Vessel Act program. Our presenter for the next session is Brenda Leonard, Program Administrator for the state's Clean Marina program. And again, that is located under the DEP's Office of Sustainable Initiatives. And you're unmuted now. Back to you, Brenda.
Thank you. I'm going to present today the Florida Clean Vessel Act program. It is a grant program for pump outs. This is the universal pump out symbol. Where you see this symbol, that means there are pump out facilities available to pump out your vessel's holding tank. The Clean Vessel Act started in 1992. It provides financial aid for pump out and dump stations, and it also provides funding for educational information for boaters. This act was created by Congress, and it's approved every 5 years. And so it also called for the states to develop their own statute. So Florida developed in 1994, as a result of the act, Article 327.53, that's the rule that governs our program, and it's titled Marine Sanitation. So since 1994, we've had this Florida statute, and it says that boaters are prohibited from discharging raw sewage into fresh waters or within the coastal saltwater limits. Raw sewage is prohibited to be discharged 9 nautical miles in the Gulf and 3 nautical miles off the Atlantic. Additionally, raw or treated discharge is prohibited in the state's no discharge zones. Our state's no discharge zones are located in Destin Harbor, the City of Key West waters, and the state waters within the Florida National Keys Marine Sanctuary. When you are in those waters, you must have a holding tank, hold your sewage, and then use a pump out to pump out. So all vessels, while on the waters of the state, should also set and secure their Y valves to prevent discharge of raw sewage into the water. On a vessel other than a houseboat, the toilet could be portable or it may be permanently installed. If you have a vessel 26 feet or more and it has an enclosed cabin with berth facilities, you need to have a toilet. It doesn't have to be permanently installed, but it should be a toilet on board. If it's permanently installed, it should be attached to one of the appropriate devices designed for your size vessel, the marine sanitation device, either a type 1, 2, or 3. So an MSD is installed on your boat, and it is designed to receive, retain, treat, or discharge the sewage after it's treated. These devices treat sewage up to like 95% clean, some a little more, some a little less, and then it's able to be discharged overboard as treated. But please remember, you can't discharge anything in a no discharge zone. Here's what a type 1 looks like. It is for vessels up to 65 feet. It looks like a battery. It's a pass-through device. The waste passes through it. It's treated with chemicals, bacteria, heat, and then it gets discharged overboard. Here's a type 2 for vessels larger than 65 feet. It's the same process. It's just for larger vessels, so the device is larger. A Type 3 is the actual holding tank. It is installed to the Y valve, so one pipe of the Y valve goes overboard and the other one goes directly into this holding tank. I highly recommend the holding tanks in all situations. So the Florida Clean Vessel Act program distributes funds from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to marinas and marine facilities to purchase pump-out equipment to then in turn service the boaters. We get funds through the Fish and Wildlife Service and also through the Florida Inland Navigation District. The grant provides a portion, and then the grant recipient provides a portion. You can get grants for stationary pump-out units, mobile pump-out units, pump-out boats. You can replace an old pump-out. You can get funding to maintenance an old pump-out or a new pump-out. You can get funds to operate your pump-out. And if you're in an area, a rural area that doesn't have sewage, you can have the sewage collected in a holding tank, and then a truck can come out and pick it up, and the grant can pay for that. So how much can you get reimbursed? 75%, and the marina provides 25%. The funds are collected from boaters who buy fishing tackle and marine fuel. Those funds are collected in the United States through the Wallet Bro Fund, and then it is distributed through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to the states. So how do I get a grant? How do you qualify? Well, you just need to be a real business. You're a registered legal business. Your services should be open and available to the public. If you're a private club or a boating club or a yacht club, you can still get funding, but you just need to be open and available to the boating public should they need your services. 25% of the cost must be provided by the grantee. We'll reimburse 75%. 5 years following the completion of your project, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service asks that you report the usage. How many gallons did you pump? How many vessels did you pump? Quarterly, you'll submit a report to us, and we in turn submit it to them. We encourage you to provide free pump outs, but if that's not possible, no more than $5 is allowed to be charged during this 5-year reporting period. Our application and other resources are available online. This is what our webpage looks like. It hasn't changed much as of today, but it has changed a little bit. You can find the application over on the right. You can see apply for a grant, so you can click on that and our grant is available. Or you could give me a call or an email and we can mail it to you. And also the instructions are available online, or you can call us and we can assist you with any questions you may have. The reporting can be submitted online as well. We ask that you log the number of vessels that you've pumped out and the approximate gallons and your maintenance costs and fees collected. Any costs that you collect from the boaters, if you collect the $5 fee, those fees are supposed to be used to maintain your equipment. Here are some pictures of types of equipment. The various types. The one in the upper left corner is we call that a stationary unit. It's installed right on the ground. The one on the right, upper right, it's a vacuum unit. It's piped down into the dock. You've got the vessel and a portable unit that you can just wheel down the dock. It's got a little holding tank on it, so they'll collect the sewage in that holding tank and then wheel it back up to their manhole or Maybe they have a stationary unit that they just charge it to. Depends on the type of marina you have, your configuration, your needs, its size vessels will determine the type of equipment that you may choose. Here's an example. Martin County has 2 pump-out vessels, and they provide pump-out services countywide at no charge. Here's a recent one at City of Hallandale. They've installed a stationary unit. Here's another stationary example. You can see that the middle picture has a connection right there on the dock. You just hook the hose right up to that. So far, Florida has installed really over 543 pump outs, and we've got about 55 projects in process. That number is constantly changing, and we have a new figure. We've the marinas that have reported to us, we have over 19 million gallons reported as pumped in our database. So if you've installed a pump out and the boaters are in your waters, who enforces pump outs? Well, the United States Coast Guard can board vessels and see if you're pumping out, or if you're using your holding tank, or if you have your Y valve open or closed. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission will also patrol the waters, and they may board your vessels. Also local sheriff's offices. And we work with these entities and provide outreach materials and educational materials that they can distribute as a proactive approach to encouraging the boaters to pump out. So on our website, this is a stationary map, but all of these points are getting mapped, and we want to show the boaters where the pump outs are located. The red dots are current pump outs that we've funded, and the black dots are simply marinas that may or may not have a pump out. They just didn't get it through us. So we are seeking to find all of the available pump outs. We want to map them so boaters can shop when they are going to an area, and they'll know exactly where they can get their pump out services. So we encourage everyone to pitch in and pump out. You can see the picture on the left is a real discharge. So that's what it looks like when someone is just discharging their waste into our waters. So encourage everyone to pump out, please. Okay, that's a quick overview of our program. If you have any questions, please type them in or announce them somehow, and I'll get you your answers.
Very good. Well, another very informative program, and we will, as Brenda said, turn to Q&A now. So anyone who would like to ask a question, or feel free to make a comment or anything you'd like to let staff know so that they can be back in touch with you if you have something of that nature, then put that in your question box too. And again, on your console, you simply go to the area where it says questions and type that in. It's as easy as that. Our first question is, how can I tell if boaters at my marina are pumping out?
Well, some marinas will log when the boaters get pumped out, especially if the marina is providing the service. So I'm not sure which marina you are, and if you have a pump out and are logging, you'll know, of course. Apparently you don't know. So you may want to think of a way that you can reward your boaters for pumping out. Get some sort of attention. You can make up some boater bags, and when they pump out, they get a boater bag. How can you tell if they've pumped out? Log it, or have some sort of a reporting system. Look at the quality of the water in your basin, especially if it's kind of a closed basin. you may not notice a difference until the soiling is not there anymore. We've had marinas with this issue, and when they're not soiling the water anymore, they can tell a big difference. It's hard to tell because you're just seeing it as normal. So you will notice a difference.
And the next question is, the maximum amount to be charged per vessel is $5, regardless of the size of the holding tank?
Yes, that is correct. And that is a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service guideline, and we cannot change that. They are looking at the fees and going through rule change now, but I cannot guarantee that that will change. Now, one thing that boaters, marinas do, if they're pumping out yachts, a lot of times it takes a long time. A lot of times your pump out is situated right next to the fueling station. So while you're fueling, you're also pumping out. You can also look for areas where boats can moor and get pumped out, and you would receive other services as well. Maybe you're going to clean their boat or stock it with ice and refreshments. So yes, it's $5.
And next question, who should we contact first if the marina staff sees a vessel discharging in the marina?
First, I would contact the marina owner so that maybe they can go and get them pumped out readily. If you contact the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, they'll send someone out to inspect the vessel and try to remedy the situation proactively, but first, of course, or they may get a fine. So I would definitely contact the marina owner, and if you can't do that, contact either the Coast Guard or local sheriffs or U.S. Fish and Wildlife Conservation.
Next, do you have a digital or print log available that can be used as a template?
We have template examples. I guess it could be digital because it's in a Word document. We don't have the log live where it's an interactive document, if that's what you were asking. But we do have templates, yes, that we will send you, and that we send those as part of your grant agreement as well. So just let us know and we can send that to you.
What can I do to convince boaters that they need to pump out regularly?
Definitely the water quality, and back to the issues of is my boater pumping out. Being involved with your boaters, hold some little events or recognition, have a newsletter, different ways to engage your boaters so that you know what's going on in their lives. A lot of marina operators, they will see people living on their boats. Well, they need to be pumped out regularly, where maybe the boat next to them is only used once a month. Well, obviously it doesn't need pumped out. So know who your tenants are and know who's frequenting your marina and what they're doing. You don't have to be nosy, but you see what's coming and going. You can tell if people are on the boat, and you know they're using the restroom. Offer them services. Maybe have in their next lease agreement, offer them free services. Then you'll know they're pumping out.
A different kind of question, if my marina applies for a grant for a pump out, can we get another grant in the future?
Absolutely, yes. There's no limit on the amount of grants. We would like to see you, running your own pump out program. Get funding from us and incorporate ways to keep your boaters using the equipment regularly. So you can apply over and over. You can get the equipment installed this year, and then you can get some funding for maintenance. next year. You may want to replace your equipment down the road. You may need additional equipment you've added onto your marina. Or you've decided this one isn't working well and you need to upgrade. All of that's fundable. We'll work with you individually.
Next question. As a private club, we do allow transient visitors to stay at the marina when passing through the area. And then in this case, the person is asking about Jacksonville on the St. John's. Does this qualify us for the grant to maintain the machinery and pumps?
Yes. You can be a private club as long as you're serving the boaters that come through the waters and need the service. You know, a lot of private clubs don't allow anyone in. Just don't refuse the service, and we can fund that, yes.
Next, I'm not sure what kind of equipment to install. Can someone from the department come out to work with me on that?
Absolutely. Give me an email or a phone call, and we'll determine, you know, where you're at. It may not be me coming out or one of my staff, but we'll get someone from the local district office. Chances are you're building onto your marina anyway, and you may need a permit in another area. So there will be folks coming to your marina, and we'll work with you all along the way. Just give us a call.
Alrighty, and last question, unless another one quickly comes in. Where can I find the pump out grant application?
That it would be available on our website, or you can give me an email or a call and we can send it to you. So it's out there available. And if you come to one of our workshops or partnership meetings around the state, we hand out hard copies. So just let us know if you can't find it online, and it won't hurt our feelings because we have a massive website. So just let us know what you need, and we'll make sure you get that for you. Okay?
And we have two more that have just come in. Here's a great one. Boot Key Harbor City Marina has operated under this grant for some time now and would like to offer assistance to any new marinas in setting up their own programs. We do notice a huge, in caps, difference in our harbor waters and are happy to share our experiences if anyone has questions on the details of pump out operations.
That is amazing, Boot Key Harbor, and you are one of our model programs. Boot Key does an excellent job pumping out their mooring fields and visiting boaters. They're operating 2 vessels at no charge. They do get some grant funding, but I know the city is putting in a lot of their own funding, and which is great because we like to see marinas and cities and counties developing their own sustainable programs. We'd like to help get you started and work with you to become sustainable.
And here is another. If you have received permanent pumps through the grant, can one also apply for portable pump out in the future?
Yes, absolutely. We will fund the equipment to meet your need.
And also, go ahead.
Done. I just moved my head.
Oh, okay. I thought you were adding something. And I wanted to add something as far as Boot Key and the offer that they have made, that perhaps if they want to share their contact information, or if the department would have a way to let folks know of that offer.
I plan to send an email to all the registrants, and I can type that information in to that email as an offer to assist, if that's okay with Boot Key Harbor.
Very good, and we'll let them respond to that. And in the meantime, that is the last question, and that does give us the chance for a 5-minute break again before our next session, which will be shifting gears to a very different topic, which is the Florida Green Lodging Program. And so some of you will not be attending that, while others will be, and we'll look forward to seeing you back. But then at 3 o'clock, be sure to come back for the program on Florida's clean and resilient marinas. So we'll let you take a short break, but let me mention this, that Katrina at Boot Key has provided her contact information, and I'm going to send that to everybody on my response to her now. So you should have just received that information. So feel free to note that down. So that is it for the next few minutes. We'll start the next session in about 4 minutes, unless, Brenda, do you have anything to add before we go to short break?
Nope, just everybody pump out. And everybody help everybody. Y'all help each other out there.
Very good. Well, we'll see folks back to whichever next session you'll be attending.